Can you just talk us through the process of making dough in the Sturdy Foods factory?
So it all starts with the raw ingredients coming in. So we buy ingredients in by the pallet, which is then stored. So welcome to our pizza factory here in North Yorkshire. This is where we make all our products. We're going to show you a little bit about the process, how we make the dough and how we make great sourdough pizzas. First part of the process is the mixing. So the flour is going in the bowl along with the other ingredients. We're then turning the mixer on. We mix for 6 minutes on a slow speed to incorporate all the ingredients, and we then mix on 4 minutes for a quick speed to really develop the dough and the gluten structure. Once the dough is made, it's removed, goes straight into the dough divider, and that's the machine where it goes in, divides it into individual dough balls, which is then rounded and turns into a nice tight smooth dough ball. If we're selling pizza dough balls, or we're making the product for pizza dough balls, that then goes straight in the freezer, blast frozen to retain the product quality. And if it's been made for the pizza bases, what happens is it's then chilled in the chiller for up to 48 hours, which really develops the flavour before we then process it and turn it into a pizza base. So the key to getting maximum quality out of any dough is time. The longer we ferment the dough for, the longer we prove it for, the longer we leave it to rest and mature, the better product we're going to have. So ideally you want to be proving your dough for at least 24 hours. If you can do more, even better. It's a bit like a stew. If you make a stew, you come back to it the following day, it's improved in flavour. It's the same process. All the proteins in the flour, all the ingredients are all gelling together and creating something which is going to be far better at the end.
All right, James, what are we doing here today then?
So we're at White's Foodservice today, glorious day, and we're going to be working with Davide, who's a very talented Neapolitan pizza chef, and he's going to be demonstrating our pizza dough, make some pizzas and have some fun.
Just walking the pizza in the oven, 1 minute, the oven goes around and the pizza is ready.
So we get a really nice even bake. Perfect. Yeah, and of course we're using a cracking dough today, aren't we?
We have a perfect dough ball made with the sourdough, great oven, easy.
Fantastic.
Great pizza, easy concept, easy to replicate.
Let's get some made.
I'll show you later on. Just let me finish my mise en place and we're gonna start. Also we need to we're gonna go through how we make our dough balls using sourdough, how we mix, and tickety-boo.
Tickety-boo. Tickety-boo. First Italian ever.
We had a really good day. We went down to White's Foodservice and we met Davide, who's a great friend of mine, someone I've known for a long time, and he's a fantastic pizza chef. His family have owned a restaurant in Naples for about the last 1,000 years or something, and he's got a real pedigree in pizza. And his way of doing things is the artisan way. So we've really partnered together, and David spent several days up with us refining our process. And what we're looking to achieve as a business is to manufacture a product which is as close to the artisanal way of pizza preparation as possible. And David has been somebody who's been enormously helpful in helping us achieve that.
Now we are going to make a proper Italian pizza dough using 00 Italian flour, water, sea salt. Sea salt is much more flavored, it's better and a bit more healthier than the table. Extra virgin olive oil, some of Italia they don't use, some of yes, I do really love add olive oil in our recipe. And sourdough, we're gonna use as a raising agent for our dough ball. He came to visit me in my new home. This is my test kitchen. James came over. We done this video just to explain his customer how we create his recipe, and also to show how good is a frozen dough ball when it's defrosted and used well. Because most of the time people they buy frozen product and they think there is something already in their mind and they're conditioned. Then a frozen dough ball has to be all in a low-end pizzeria, which actually not true, because if you have the finest topping, you have a proper frozen dough ball and the right equipment, in this case, oven, you can achieve a great pizza. For restaurant chain, pubs, they want to add their pizza to their menu to increase the revenue, and also why not to find another solution to cope with the takeaway demand. So looking at the frozen dough ball can be the right option. Some people they start with the water. I start with the flour. Then we add our sourdough. It's quite liquid.
Sourdough smells incredible,
Yeah,
doesn't
you
it?
can feel it.
Yeah, it's got a real aroma already, hasn't it? And that's only going to develop more, isn't it, as we make the dough.
Slow speed, and we add roughly 70% of our total water.
How closely does that relate to how you create the dough ball here on site?
So last week we went and we saw Davide making things in a very artisanal way, making a fantastic quality dough. And really our process is essentially the same. We're taking ingredients, we're mixing it, maybe not for quite as long as we would do with this being a manufacturing process. And then everything that he was doing by hand, essentially we're doing by machine, which gives us a very close approximation to what he made last week.
There we go.
So the main steps that we need to take to create a great pizza is it starts with the right ingredients, the main thing being the flour. So bad flour, we'll have a bad pizza. Great flour, we're on our way to making a great pizza. And that's a process of trial and error. Generally, we want a nice, strong, high protein flour, which is going to start us off on the right foot. And then the next thing is the method behind it. So if we rush things, we don't proof for long enough, we don't let the dough mature in flavour, then we're going to get an average product. But if we put the time in, we put the effort in, and we follow the right process, then we're going to get a great result at the end of it. So starting with great ingredients is number one. The next thing is what would the next thing be? We need to be looking at what skills we've got in-house. Do we want to make the dough fresh every day? Do we want to buy a product in which maybe is going to give us a little bit more consistency and reduce labour? Dough management is a very important thing. So once we've got a good dough, we've got to treat it in the right way and make sure that we're getting the most out of it. And then the final thing is how we're going to bake the dough. What oven are we going to use? Do we need to invest in a big fancy wood-fired oven, which needs quite a bit of skill to operate, or can we get away with something more simple? So there's an awful lot of variables to look at when you're first looking at, shall I put pizza on the menu, and how we're going to do it.
So you need an oven. It's impossible to produce a pizza without an oven, whenever oven you buy. And then if you want to make fresh dough, you need to find first a pizza chef that is able to produce a fresh dough. And also, of course, you need equipment, which means, again, space. If you're really considering to add the pizza and you are struggling space, or rely on a pizza chef, because you may find a pizza chef for a short period of time, and then after a few months, you're gonna find yourself with the section uncovered. So frozen product is more than an option, it's a solution actually.
So if you're looking to put pizza on the menu, there's a few options and a few things that we need to take into consideration. The first is, are we going to make that dough ourselves? Are we going to make it in-house? In some ways, it might give us the absolute optimum best result, but are we going to be able to replicate that every single day? Or are we going to have days where maybe it's a different chef making the dough, doesn't follow the recipe, somebody treats it in a different way and we get an inconsistent product? Or are we going to look at buying a product in which case we can still get a very good quality product, but we're also maybe going to gain in terms of consistency, which, as we know, is very important for customers. It's been proven that people who go back to a restaurant do so because they know what they're going to get. It's why a lot of the big chains are very successful. So consistency is as important as quality, for definite.
Of course, if you open a pizza place, then you do only pizza, you cannot use frozen dough ball because you produce only one product. But if you do already pasta, meat, burger. So in this case, I think the best solution is a frozen dough ball for consistency and also for in terms of size, space and labor, and even you're gonna end up saving money at the end of the year.
So we have three main options to be able to serve pizza on a menu. The first is a dough ball, which requires some level of skill in terms of the management of it and the preparation of it. And we then move up to a pressed pizza base called a pizza disc, which is still going to give us a really good quality product, but which is removing the need to roll dough in-house. And then we move up to a pre-baked, pre-sauced pizza. And this would be for an operator where they haven't necessarily got space, equipment or skill levels to be able to invest in equipment and staff training. And they want a really, really quick, easy way to serve what is still a very good quality product. The main benefits of buying Sturdy Foods products in are storage, so we can reduce storage capacity. It's reducing reliance on skilled labour, and it's also reducing labour costs. We've done a lot of research into how to get the best product, how to get the most out of the product, what ingredients to use, and really the benefits come down to consistency. Customers value consistency, and when they get consistency of service, they get consistency of product, then they come back time and time again.
So few product, high quality. That's the secret.
And I think a lot of operators do underestimate how much consumers value simplicity.
Correct. Has a lovely crust around. Frozen double, looks like fresh. You can see soft, full of air inside.
And nobody's going to look at that and know that you've not made that dough, are they?
Correct.
Nobody.
You come in a restaurant and they serve a pizza like this, they will say, you will never think about that it's a frozen double made with a pizza press.
Okay, so in this film, we've been looking at the actual process of making dough, how we make the dough in an artisanal way, how we manufacture it as a pizza manufacturer. We're going to be doing future videos on actually how we set up and market a pizza menu and a pizza offering. Hope you've enjoyed it, and please subscribe to the link below. If you'd like to know more about anything that you've learned in the video, please give us a call.
Tickety-boo.
So the type of people that are going to be interested in this content are going to be pubs, bars, cafes, visitor attractions, and anywhere that wants to serve great quality. No, that's crap. Right.
There's an outtake.
Yeah, there is definitely an outtake.